Today we have a very special guest, Dr. Lisa Radosta, who is president of the American College of Veterinary Behaviorists. So as a veterinary behaviorist, you have a very unique perspective on dog behavior.
You have to know how learning theory applies to all animals. And so when I look at a patient, it's sad, but it's true that often I and people like me, right, in my profession are the last stop. It's not unusual for me to hear, I'm going to euthanize this dog or cat if you can't fix the problem in X number of days. That's not even odd to hear that.
Wow.
So these people feel desperate. And so we have to look at the whole pet. And we also have to understand learning theory to the point of like, when you first start training, when I was 18, I first started training my dogs. Like I trained my dog when I was 6, but I mean like really showing them. I'm 55 now, so it was a long time ago. And I learned the 4 quadrants. I learned about operant conditioning. I learned about classical conditioning. And they seemed really separate because that's how they're presented when you're a new trainer. And that's probably how you should learn about them as a brand new trainer. But then you learn that they're really never separate. No matter what training method you're using classical conditioning and operant conditioning. Okay, so as a vet behaviorist, now add on the layer of whenever you condition an animal to do anything, with operant, classical, or as I just said, it's almost always both, you change their brain. That's the part we have to know. You change the connections in the brain. You change the way neurotransmitters are firing. One of the coolest things that I just love is that I came across a study, I would say about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, that shows that in the brain, when fear, now granted this is rats, but rats are mammals, right? So when fear becomes generalized, some of the neurons in the brain actually change the neurotransmitters that they are secreting. So that's like saying, my eyes are hazel today, and when fear generalizes, they turn blue. Like the opposite happens. So that's the stuff that we have to know, right?
Yeah, well said.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, I was unaware of a lot of that. That's really interesting. It's no surprise, but I mean, it does seem like we're really coming into an era of new science as well, where we're starting to understand a lot more things.
I thought it was so interesting how very quickly you talked about the last stop before euthanasia thing, because that's such a common talking point. We hear that a lot in the dog training world, usually as a justification for punishment. And it was kind of validating for me personally to hear you immediately say that, because I'm like, what about the behaviorists? There's people whose specialty it is to actually figure out the underlying reason for what's happening with your dog rather than just trying to suppress them. So that was nice to hear.
Yeah,